Hello and welcome everyone to Delhi UPSC Secrets. Today in this video, we are going to discuss about one of the world's oldest civilization, that is Indus Valley Civilization. Indus Valley Civilization can be learned through 6 different dimensions in this particular video. Number one is introduction to Indus Valley Civilization, the sites of IVC, then their technology and crafts, society, economy, and polity of that particular civilization. And in the end, we'll also understand the decline of this civilization. Now let us talk about some introduction about Indus Valley Civilization. Any prehistorical civilizations things can be coming into the limelight only after some archaeological surveys and explorations. People used to believe, Europeans and Indians used to believe that India's history dates back to around some 600 AD or something. But after exploration of the site called Harappa in 1904, we started understanding that Indian history dates back to around 2600 BC. And from 2600 BC to 1900 BC is a time period where the civilization of Indus Valley have flourished. The name itself suggests that this civilization is something which is belonging to the Indus River. Okay. Now, let us talk some more aspect about this particular civilization. It was Alexander Cunningham, who is called as father of Indian archaeology, who have founded a seal consisting of a bull and some scriptures within that particular seal in 1800s. Nobody knows that what it actually was. Now later in 1920, the relics of the civilizations were found only in the Indus Valley region. And because the first important site that was excavated was Harappa, this civilization is also named as Indus Valley Civilization or Harappan Civilization. Now, all credits to Mr. John Marshall, who have done huge lot of explorations about civilizations. But we need to talk about two important persons here. Number one is Mr. Dayaram Sahani ji, who have excavated Harappa, and Mr. R.D. Banerjee ji, who have excavated Mohenjo-daro. Before these particular people, we actually used to believe that Indian history is not that oldest one. But later, after the explorations, we came up with so many conclusions that ours is the longest surviving civilization. People, we actually have a clear-cut difference between what is a culture and what is a civilization. A culture is nothing but way of life, whereas civilization term refers to the highest form of culture. Now, moving forward, Indus Valley civilization has actually flourished in the northwestern part of India. After the excavations and the discoveries, over 1400 various settlements indicate that Indus Valley civilization extent is about 1400 north-south direction and 1600 kilometers towards east and west direction. Now, when it comes to Indian subcontinent, the northernmost site of Indus Valley is Manda in J&K. Then easternmost is Alamgirpur of UP. Westernmost is Sukta Jandor in Pakistan, southern Pakistan region, and Damabad, the southernmost point in the Indus Valley civilization. Now imagine how lengthy the civilization was, and around 1400 various settlements were discovered during this civilization, and it flourished along the river of Indus Valley. Moving forward, we have something called phases of Indus Valley civilization. People after exploration came with a conclusion that there are certain stages over which the civilization have evolved. It is not a sudden so-called civilization. It is a gradual increase or gradual development of the civilization. And therefore, most of the people believe that the early Harappan culture, which is considered to be the first phase of civilization, dates back to your Chalcolithic culture itself. Probably there must be some overlap of Chalcolithic culture and early Harappan. Now, in a broad manner, we have three different phases of Indus Valley civilization. Number one is early Harappan culture, which starts from around 3300 BC to 2600 BC. Then we have mature Harappan culture between 2600 to 1900 BC. Then late Harappan culture, which dates from 1900 to 1300 BC. Now, this, in other words, also called as pre-Harappan culture, proto-Harappan culture, and Harappan culture. Basically, Harappan culture and late Harappan culture or post-Harappan culture is nothing but the continuity of the civilization. Few people call it as early, mature, and late Harappan. Few actually consider it as pre, proto, and Harappan cultures. Now, let us know something about the early Harappan phase. Early Harappan phase flourished all along the Indus River. I hope you can see the Indus River here. And we have 10 most important sites of the early Harappan cultures. People believe that it was the first stage during which the beginning of the civilization have started with 10 most crucial villages, which are so much close to something called Mehergar. I hope you must be aware that Mehergar is one of the important Neolithic sites. Now, around Mehergar, 10 villages which includes Khulli, Nal, Kyota, Johub, Nal, Ghumla, Rahmandiri, and you have Saraikola. So these are the 10 important villages where huts, towns were formed in this particular stage. As it was the early civilization, we do not see any major developments, but pastoral and cattle rearing are something which is found in this particular phase. And early Harappan phase flourished between 3300 BC to around 2600 BC. Next to early Harappan, we have mature Harappan phase. This phase is also called as the so-called second stage of the so-called civilization. In this stage, the Baluch culture entered into the Sindh part of Pakistan and people started doing agriculture in a surplus manner as well. Now, Proto-Harappan, or in other words, mature Harappan, includes important sites like Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Rakhighari, Dholavira, and many more. So, mature Harappan phase is a phase where people started observing communities. Now, from villages, we have seen towns, like four important towns like Banwali, Kota and you have some more aspects. Now, mature Harappan also includes important sites like Sutka Jandar. We have seen it was the westernmost corner of the Indus Valley civilization. Then we have Chanhudaro, Kota Amri, Balakot, and we have Harappa. Then we have Banwali, Rakhighari, Kalibhangan, and we have Surkotada, Dholavira, Lothal. These are the most crucial sites where archaeological department have excavated huge lot of evidences. Now, next to that, after mature phase, we have post-Harappan cultures within which people have found various, what do you say, called evidences of the civilization. Now, the story goes with the so-called second aspect of your discussion, which is the sites of Indus Valley civilization. Because any prehistoric civilization can be understood better only through the excavations done in that particular path, isn't it? So, excavations of IVC, particularly in the major sites, have revealed an extensive details about the urban culture, trade, architecture, and social organization. Remember, people, we were talking about 2600 BC, which means around 5000 years from today. Means those people are very much advanced in their times. Now, key excavations of IVC, if you want to understand, sites of Indus Valley is something which helps us. Now, moving forward, when it comes to the sites of Indus Valley civilization, they're all belonging to the so-called banks of Indus River itself. You can see in the map, we have Harappa, Mohenjo-daro, Amri, Chanhudaro, and Sutka Jandar. Now, when it comes to the Harappan settlements, they are mostly located on the banks of rivers, and only 40 settlements were so much close to the Indus and its tributaries. And in the archaeological excavations, as many as 1100 settlements were located on the vast plain between Indus and Ganges River, which actually comprises the Saraswati River system. Then Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Kalibangan, Lothal, Surkotada, Dholavira, they're all, given us a fair idea about various early Harappan, mature Harappan, and late Harappan phases. Now, without any further delay, let us move towards some important sites of this civilization. First of its particular thing is to discuss about the Harappa region. Harappa is the first site that is discovered. It led to the identification of entire civilization as Harappan civilization. Now, within Harappa, extensive city layout with granaries, multi-roomed houses, drainage systems were found. Along with that, huge lot of pottery, seals, terracotta figurines, tools, etc. were actually discovered. Now, the excavators of Harappa is Sir John Marshall and Mr. Dayaram Sahani in 1921. The next important site is Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro is the second most important site within the Indus Valley civilization. It is one of the largest settlements of the civilization. In the video itself, we'll understand Mohenjo-daro in detail in a few minutes. Then, within Mohenjo-daro, the excavations have revealed the evidence of dancing girl statue, a priest king statue in the region. And excavators are Mr. R.D. Banerjee and Sir John Marshall. Then the third important site of Indus Valley civilization is Dholavira. Then the next important site is Kalibhangan. Kalibhangan is one of the most crucial sites of Indus Valley civilizations which were there within India. Now, in that way, we have huge lot of so-called Indus Valley sites in the India and Pakistan regions. You have Alamgirpur, then we have Surkotada, then you have Dholavira, just close to Surkotada, then we have Mohenjo-daro, then Harappa, then Rakhighari, Banwali, and Kalibhangan, and many more. Now let us discuss about sites of Indus Valley civilization in little more detail. Now when it comes to sites, it is first Harappa which used to be considered. Within Harappa, as I told you, it was the first excavated region, and here people have found sandstone statues, bullock carts, and granaries. Next is Mohenjo-daro. Mohenjo-daro is one of the largest Indus Valley sites, and in Mohenjo-daro, we have came across a citadel, residential structures, a large number of seals, then terracotta figurines, and one of the crucial part of Mohenjo-daro is the evidence of great bath. Okay, so that is what all about Mohenjo-daro. Then the next important site is Sutka Jandar. Okay, it was excavated in 1929. It was considered to be the trading point between Harappa and Babylon. It means Harappan people were also well aware of trading. Then we have Chanhu-daro. Chanhu-daro is also one of the most important sites of Indus Valley within India. It is located close to the Amri region. The significance is that Chanhu-daro is important for understanding industrial and manufacturing activities of Harappa region. It was excavated by Mackay. Then within Chanhu-daro, we have found beads making industry, copper tools, pottery, and seals. It means all the excavations shows how big the civilization is, how advanced it is. Then we have Amri, which is excavated by Mr. N.G. Majumdar in 1935 on the banks of river Indus, and we have antelope evidence in this particular region. Moving forward, some more important sites within Indian subcontinent is Dholavira, which was excavated by R.S. Bisht in 1985 itself. Then it was the important findings here is that water harnessing system and water reservoirs. As I told you, Indus Valley people were advanced people. They knew how to do agriculture and they also knew how to manage water as well. So the evidences like water harnessing systems, water reservoirs reveals about the agricultural activities in that particular region. Moving forward, we have Surkotada. Surkotada is another important Indus Valley site excavated by J.P. Joshi, and the findings here is the bones of horse beads and all. We are not properly aware. It is not clear that whether these people were aware of horses or not, and probably that must be the bones of some other entities as well. Surkotada is one of the few Harappan sites where horse remains has been found. Okay, and it was the evidence is many a times debated as well. Then apart from that, Surkotada also had fortified city layout, then a typical Harappan pottery as well. Moving forward, we have another important Indus Valley site which is called as Lothal. Lothal is excavated by Mr. R. Rao and it is considered to be the dockyard of this Indus Valley civilization. And the significance of the Lothal is that it was a major port city of Indus Valley civilization. It highlighting the engagement in the maritime trade with Mesopotamia. Mesopotamia is contemporary culture of Indus Valley. Okay. Then moving forward, we have Kali Bhangan. As I told you, Kali Bhangan located in the banks of river Ghaggar Hakra in Rajasthan region. This is a significant notable site because earliest evidences of agricultural practices, especially use of wooden plows, were found in the Kali Bhangan region. Apart from that, we have fire altars, fortified structures, and also potteries that were seen in this region. Then we have Banwali, which was excavated by R.S. Best, and within Banwali, we have found beads and barley evidences. The evidences of both pre-Harappan and Harappan cultures were found, and Banwali provides insights into the agricultural practices in the region. Agricultural tools, seals, etc. were found. Now, understanding the sites of Indus Valley have helped a lot to know how, what are all the different things that were there in Indus Valley civilization, isn't it? Now, after sites, let us understand something more about the Indus technology and crafts. Because Indus technology and crafts are very much advanced in nature. If you look into the excavations as well, we have found seals, we have found agricultural instruments, we said, I told you we have seen a wooden plow, we have seen rice husk in the Lothal region, the evidences of cultivation of wheat, barley, etc. Right? And parallelly, they were also aware of technology, which means making bronze tools, making terracotta figurines and all. Let us dive deep into the technology of Indus Valley civilization. The first thing to discuss about Indus Valley's technology is its town planning. Town planning is extraordinary in the Indus Valley civilization. If you remember, I told you that Mohenjo-daro is one of the largest sites, important Indus Valley sites of the times. Mohenjo-daro is a Sindh part of Pakistan. It was excavated by Banerjee and it was a model city on the basis of which all the other cities must have been planned. That's what people believe. Then within Mohenjo-daro, if you look into the map of Mohenjo-daro, there you observe distinctly something called a upper city, which is called as citadel. Then we have a lower town, which is called as the so-called town consisting of local people. Now it means this shows that people were having a proper so-called occupational division. There is no proper evidences of social differentiation. Probably we might assume that citadel is a place where rich merchants must have been staying and lower town is a place where local common people must be staying. That's what is the belief that people had. Now, within Mohenjo-daro, compared to the other so-called Indus Valley sites, Mohenjo-daro has a speciality, which is nothing but the presence of great bath in the Mohenjo-daro region. And to understand the town planning of Indus Valley, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro are the two important towns that we need to consider because both of them had citadels and they was possibly occupied by the ruling class of that particular region. And in the lower town, we observe a proper grid system. Can you observe here within the map? The grid system showcases that every single street is having a 90-degree cuts. Okay. Now let us understand little more about Mohenjo-daro because it was the most important site to understand the town planning of the Indus Valley civilization. Now let us dive deep into the reality pictures of Mohenjo-daro. This particular city of Mohenjo-daro is one of the largest cities of Indus Valley civilization. Mohenjo-daro is located close to the Indus River in the southern Pakistan region, and it is one of the preserved sites of most important sites of Indus Valley civilization. Now, within this particular region, we actually have a citadel, you can see there, and this city is 2500 BC, this formed in. It means parallel to the pyramids of Egypt. And this city is 5 times the size of Vatican City today. That big is Mohenjo-daro. Probably people believe that Mohenjo-daro must have acted as a central administrative system of the civilization because the city is such a big one. Now, when it comes to city plan, we have two important districts. Number one is Citadel, number two is Lower Town. The Citadel is a place where we have huge lot of monuments like Great Bath. Great Bath is nothing but a particular water pool, we can say, which is of 900 square foot area. Remember, in around in around 70 AD or something, we started seeing Roman baths. But Indus Valley's Great Bath is much older than that particular Roman baths. Probably this Great Bath must have been utilized for ritual purposes. And Great Bath is located in the citadel. That is nothing but the upper town of the civilization. Okay. Now, if you look into Mohenjo-daro, as I told you, we have huge lot of seals that were found in this particular region. Okay. Now, Mohenjo-daro is also famous for its drainage system. Now, when it comes to drainage system of Mohenjo-daro, as I told you, it was one of the important things that you need to consider. And the two districts, the citadel and the lower town, the drainage system were extremely important. Because if you look into the city, all the lower towns were connected to an elaborate sewage system. We have around 700 freshwater wells in the region. Now, as I told you, Roman baths are around 70 AD, but Mohenjo-daro's Great Bath is 2500 BC, much earlier than this. Now, within Indus Valley, in the Mohenjo-daro, there is no worship that were found, no temples or no palaces, no royal tombs, nothing were found. Probably people must be of a different, what do you say, orientation in that particular point of time. Now, when it comes to town planning and structures, we need to remember the so-called citadel and the lower town. And also, we need to remember the so-called grid system on that particular town planning. Moving forward, we have Indus Valley crafts. As I told you, in the excavations, they have found Indus seals, seals which are engraved in a pictographic script. The script means probably it was the language of the Indus people, or it must be some symbols that were used for trading purpose. We never knew because the script of the Indus Valley is undeciphered. And we actually also find some amulets. We have used some education, educational tools that were present. We have Pasupati shield. Can you look into the first shield which is there over here? It represents the god that was worshipped in the Indus Valley civilization, is what archaeologists believe. Then apart from that, we have priest king figure, which was found in Mohenjo-daro itself. And it was made up of terracotta. Then moving forward within the craft, we have a dancing girl statue. When you observe that statue in detail, you can see clearly the bangles that were there on the hand of this particular lady. Then there were some chains, some amulets, etc. Which means Indus people were highly sophisticated as well when it comes to the so-called makeup, cosmetics, or use of jewelries, ornaments, and all. Then a dancing girl statue, it is of about 11.5 centimeters height, made up of bronze. Remember, I told you Indus Valley is also called as the Bronze Age civilization. And they used bronze casting with the help of lost wax technique. It was used to prepare statues and all. Then Indus Valley pottery is another important thing that we need to consider because their pottery is extremely good. Probably they must have used this particular pottery for various purposes, like for showcasing, probably for religious and ritualistic practices they must have used. And pottery is one of the important things that tells about Harappan culture. Harappans had a great expertise in the use of pottery wheel. Discovered specimens, we have discovered the specimens of red pottery. Okay, then mainly plain red and black printed ware is the pottery which is common in the Indus Valley civilization. And Harappan pots were generally decorated with the designs of trees, circles, images of men, and also some figures, etc. Then next to that, we have Indus Valley terracotta figurines. They are the main figurines made up of fire-baked clay, commonly called as terracotta. They were either toys, objects of worship. They must be representing some birds, sheep, cattle, monkeys, men, women, and the seals and the images were manufactured with a great skill. But terracotta pieces represent some unsophisticated artistic work. Probably these must be dolls that were used by the kids as well. Fire baked clay, we say. And within the terracotta figurine, Mother Goddess figure is something which you need to remember a lot. Moving forward, we have ornaments but were used by Indus people. As I told you, these people are very much aware of grooming themselves in a very better way. And ornaments, when it comes to Indus Valley civilization, they have beads industry. They used ornaments made up of various metals. Then they used metals, gemstones, bones, etc. Amulets, armlets are used. The evidences of dead bodies buried with ornaments were found in the Indus Valley region. And they were also aware of cosmetics. Surprisingly, they were the evidences that were found with lipsticks, face paints, eyeliners, etc. in the civilization excavations. Moving forward, the most important part of civilization is its script. The script of the Indus Valley civilization is called as Bostrofedon. Generally, Brahmi script is something which we use. It means Brahmi script, we write from left to right. The reading as well. Whenever you're reading the script Bostrofedon, we are reading from left to right, isn't it? So that is Brahmi script, which we follow today. But Indus script is called as Bostrofedon, which means they read from left to right, then right to left, then again left to right. So the problem with the script of Indus Valley is it is undeciphered yet. We don't know the meaning of that particular scripts. Okay, so that is what about the script of Indus Valley. Moving forward within the crafts of Indus Valley, we have weights and measures of Harappan civilization. This is another important part. It means the knowledge of script must have been helped in recording private property and maintenance of accounts, the Indus Valley script. Whereas they were very much aware of use of weights and measures, probably for trade and other transactions. Numerous articles used as weights have been found. They show around weighting 16 units, and 16 and its multiple 16, 64, 160, 320, 640, etc. Interestingly, the tradition of 16 has continued in India even till modern times, till recently. 16 annas constituted 1 rupee earlier, if you knew that. The Harappans are also knew the art of measurements. So that is one important thing. And there was a copper balance that was found in Mohenjo-daro. It means these people were well aware of trade. Harappan weights and measures are cubical, spherical in shape, made up of various items. And I told you it was of various multiples. Then they followed decimal system as well. The measure of length was based upon the foot of 37.6 centimeters. So it means people were very much aware of the numbers and they were very much aware of the proper weights. And moving forward, in the Indus Valley civilization, the next aspect is to discuss about Indus Valley society, because in any given culture, the social organization is something which reflects or something which talks about various advancements of that particular region, isn't it? Now, Indus Valley civilization had a complex, well organized society, and people believe that their society is egalitarian society. Although civilization script remains undeciphered, which limits our understanding of the social hierarchy, the archaeological evidences provides us significant insights about the structure and functioning of the Indus Valley society. Okay. Now, when it comes to Indus Valley society, as I told you, we do not know the Indus script, right? We did not decipher it, but with the help of certain town planning structures. For example, excavations indicate the hierarchy in the urban habitation. Remember, in the Mohenjo-daro, we have seen an upper town, which is citadel. Probably the ruling class must be sitting there. Then we have middle settlements, probably merchants must have been staying there, and a lower town where common people must have been residing. It means the so-called hierarchical urban structure corresponds to occupational division like merchants, craftsmen, peasantry, because we have used out of crafts that were found, artisans were there and all. But there is no evidence of socio-economic differentiation within the civilization. Secondly, the contemporary civilization of the times were matriarchal society, which means mother dominated societies. So we also assume there is no it the so called discussion is debated, but we actually assume that it may be a matriarchal society, although there is no definite evidence of matriarchy that was found. But few reasons in the Indus Valley civilization, like they have worshipped mother goddess. Okay, so mother goddess worship in the pre-Harappan cultures was followed. Even today in southern India, the so-called ideas are flourished for longer times, isn't it? So it means worship of mother goddess, giving more importance to the female structures in the terracotta figurines and all. We can actually assume that there is some matriarchy in the society, and the existence of specialized areas for craftsmen, traders, agriculturists also indicates there is an occupational division. Clear? Then apart from that, the housing system, household goods, the things that they have used, goddess worship, all these things brings us with a conclusion that Indus Valley society is a well organized society. Okay. Then apart from that, when it comes to the aspects related to society, we also need to talk about the burial system that they have used. The dead were often buried with various items like pottery, jewelry, and all. It means probably similar to the Egyptian cultures, these people may have a belief of after life after the death. And the dead were generally buried in north-south orientation. Few dead bodies were buried in a sitting posture. Few bodies were buried in a sleeping posture. Even today within Indian subcontinent, we do follow that particular thing, the so-called burial system, isn't it? Then, next to society, the Indus Valley religion is something which is important. As I told you, mother goddess worship, the terracotta figurine of mother goddess, which is shown here, is found in several sites of Harappan culture. And there is animal worship as well, because seals, did you remember? The Pasupati shield, which is shown here, is surrounded by various animals. And the person who is sitting here is actually sitting in a yogic posture, right? Seals depicting animals like unicorns, bulls, elephant indicate that certain animals were of some religious importance. Then this Proto Shiva, which is also called as Pasupati Mahadeva Shield. It is a famous seal, sometimes referred as Proto Shiva, depicts the figure sitting in a yogic posture. Some scholars believe that Indus Valley people have worshipped this particular person. Then, apart from that, the evidences of phallus worship is also found in the so-called civilization excavations. It means they must have worshipped the organs of men and women. Male deity represented in the seal. Then one of the figurines of Indus Valley also show a plant coming out of an embryo of a woman. It means probably we are assuming that it must be the earth goddess, the goddess of fertility. Then trees and animals were also worshipped, and Indus Valley people also used amulets. It means they also believe in something called evil powers. To get rid of evil powers, they have used amulets and all. So this is about the religion of the Indus Valley civilization, which is an integral part of their society. Then next to society, the fifth important dimension to discuss is Indus economy. As I told you, these people were way advanced. There was trade, there were industries, craftsmanship, and many more things with respect to Indus economy. The primary thing that we need to discuss in Indus economy is its agriculture and domestication of the animals. Within Neolithic culture itself, we see the evidences of agriculture. But comparatively, the agriculture in Indus Valley civilization is little advanced one. Okay, the Indus sites are the fertile regions in the earlier times, because today, if you look into the place, we have less rainfall in that region. But it was believed that many of the scriptures, for example, historians of Alexander inform us that Indus region, which is called as Sindh region, was one of the fertile lands in the ancient times. So Harappans sowed the seeds in November, then they reaped their harvest in the month of April and all. Okay, the most important crop that is grown is wheat and barley. And this actually tells you that they have a clear understanding of seasonal cultivation. Wheat, barley, rye, peas, sesame, mustard, many crops were produced except sugarcane. Then food grains were stored in granaries. In the Mohenjo-daro, in the city plan, we have citadel in the lower town, right? Within the lower town, we have found huge lot of food grains granaries, okay? And rice husk is also found in the Lothal region. And the most important thing to remember here is Indus people are one of the earliest peoples. We can say they were the earliest ones to produce cotton. In Greek literature, this is also called as Sindon because this is produced in the Sindh region. Now, moving forward, Indus people also domesticated animals. Animals were raised on large scales like oxen, buffalo, goats, sheep, pigs, etc. And there were evidences of dogs and cats as well, which were domesticated. Okay, then next to agriculture, we need to talk about Indus Valley crafts and trade industry. It means when it comes to industry, as it is a Bronze Age civilization, they have used bronze figures as well. Probably these must be used for trading purposes, or they must have some significance. The rise of towns in the Indus zone was based on agricultural surplus, and parallelly they started making bronze tools. This is known as the first urbanization of India. Indus civilization is called as the first urbanization in India. Then apart from that, we have gold objects found in the form of beads, pendants, amulets, and other small ornaments were also found. And shell working was also flourished industry in that particular times. The people of Harappan used many tools. Okay, implements of stones were used, bronze tools were used, copper was used. Okay, so several other important crafts flourished in the Indus towns, and many of those evidences were found in the sites of Indus Valley. It means people were aware of industry. Parallelly, they have trade and commerce activity as well. Harappans conducted a considerable trade in stones, metals, and shells with Mesopotamia region. Okay, probably they must be having barter system. Okay, barter system you must be knowing. if you give wheat for me, I will give you fruits for you, in that particular way. Exchange of goods we call. Okay, they were aware of use of wheel as well. Wheel is not that thing which we see today with spokes and all. They actually used a wheel called modern ekka. Okay, that is a form of wheel that we have without spokes. Okay, then terracotta figures of bullock carts were found in the region. That showcases that their involvement in trade and commerce. Many Harappan seals were discovered in Mesopotamia region. Okay, Mesopotamia, as I told you, it is the contemporary civilization, right? The importance of trade in the life of Indus people is supported not only by granaries but also by various art forms and all. The Harappans conducted a huge amount of trade with the Mesopotamian region, and Harappans carried trade in lapis lazuli as well. Then Mesopotamian records also, from 2350 BC onwards, refer to trade relations with Meluha. What is Meluha? Meluha is nothing but the Indus civilization itself. They called it Meluha. Okay, and within their books, there was a mention of Dilman, which is probably identified as Bahrain on Persian Gulf today, and Meluha, through which the so called trade was carried out. So they were much aware of trade and commerce as well. And probably seals must be used as a medium, or there might be trademark symbols, or probably, some significance must have been there to the seals of Indus Valley. Then next to trade and commerce, we need to discuss about the Indus polity and governance. When it comes to the governance of Indus Valley civilization, we need to again get back to the city plan of Mohenjo-daro. The city, if you consider, you have a upper town called Citadel, then a middle settlements, then you have lower towns, right? It means cities must have been governed by rich merchant classes, and there might be some proper rules and regulations, because it was the longest surviving culture. Unless we have a proper organized structure, it is quite a difficult task, right? Secondly, the entire culture or the areas of Harappa was well populated. Fortification was a feature of several cities. Okay, Dholavira in particular. Then the Harappan rulers were more concerned with commerce than the conquest. So probably we might assume that Harappans was ruled by a higher class merchants. However, Harappan did not have any standing army or anything of that sort. But people believe that they must be ruled, or these people must be having some proper organized structure. And few archaeologists, few historians also believe that Harappans must have followed oligarchy. Oligarchy is nothing but the rule of the rich. However, according to Mr. D.D. Kosambi, the sites must have been governed by priestly crosses as well. In any given case, there was a proper class division, but there is no caste division, or there is no king or ruler, or we don't properly knew about this particular thing. Now, this so-called culture, the longest surviving culture, declined over a period of time. The reasons for the decline of Indus Valley remain debated. People believe environmental changes is a reason, like shifting of the river course. Some people believe that climate must have changed. Some people believe that the civilization must have, experienced Aryan invasion. Okay, so many have become the reason for the decline of the civilization. And moreover, most of the people actually consider that over a period of time, due to extensive exploitation of the resources, because once in a period of time it was a proper thick vegetation that was there in that region. Due to the urbanization and all, Indus Valley must have faced many difficulties. The Indus Valley or Harappan civilization left an enduring legacy that shaped not only Indian subcontinent but also influenced the development of civilizations globally. Now, when it comes to the legacy of IVC, urban planning is one of the important features that you need to remember. The craftsmanship of the industry, weights and measures, agriculture, water management, their script, and it is one of the world's earliest urban civilizations. Indus Valley is one of the world's first major urban civilizations, along with Mesopotamia. Okay, so we are not properly clear that why the civilization have ended. Okay, environmental challenges is something which people believe. Okay, then some other believe about invasions and diseases and many more. Okay, and at last this civilization left a lasting legacy in the urban planning, water management, agriculture, and many more. Despite the mystery surrounding their decline and undeciphered script, the civilization's contribution to human progress and its resilience in the face of environmental challenges mark it as one of the most advanced and influential early civilizations in human history. Thanks a lot for attending this particular session, everyone, and have a good day.
दोस्तों, अगर आप भी चाहते हैं कि करंट अफेयर पोर्शन से आपका एक भी क्वेश्चन गलत ना हो, तो आप हमारी गूगल प्ले स्टोर ऐप दिल्ली सीक्रेट से परचेज कर सकते हैं हमारा लबासना एक्सप्रेस करंट अफेयर बैच सिर्फ ₹499 में। इस बैच की वैलिडिटी हमने 2 साल रखी है, ताकि आप यूपीएससी के अलावा भी और कई एग्जाम्स और स्टेट पीएससी एग्जाम्स को टारगेट कर सकें। इस बैच का परचेज लिंक आपको नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन में मिल जाएगा। दिल्ली यूपीएससी सीक्रेट्स प्लेटफॉर्म पर आप फ्रीली इंटरेक्ट और कनेक्ट कर सकते हैं कई टॉपर्स से, जैसे कि आईएएस विशाल नरवाड़े सर, जो कि 6 प्रीलिम्स, मेंस और इंटरव्यूज क्लियर कर चुके हैं and has been selected previously as IAS, IPS and IRS. दिल्ली यूपीएससी सीक्रेट्स इन recent few years कई सारे टॉपर्स दे चुका है और आप अगले हो सकते हैं। हमसे इसी तरह जुड़े रहने के लिए डाउनलोड करें गूगल प्ले स्टोर या एप्पल ऐप स्टोर से दिल्ली सीक्रेट्स ऐप। हम टेलीग्राम पर भी उपलब्ध हैं एज दिल्ली यूपीएससी सीक्रेट्स, और आप हमारी यूट्यूब चैनल को भी सब्सक्राइब कर सकते हैं एज दिल्ली यूपीएससी सीक्रेट्स। थैंक यू वेरी मच एंड हैव अ ग्रेट डे।